We're really, really excited. It's been hard to get excited about anything with this 2020. Everything's always disrupted, and but really, really good. Obviously, 21 kids signed. Um, Defensively, we felt like these guys really like to run and hit. Our defense has been getting more and more physical, bigger, stronger, faster as the years gone on, and we still think there's another gear and another level that we can bring our defense to. And uh, the general thing with the defense is you got really good length, and then you also have a bunch of guys that have nasty dispositions and really like to play this game and really like to get after it. And then you got a couple cover guys too. We got some D linemen, we got some linebackers, safety type, and obviously we have some corners. So we really feel like this is a really good defensive class and really, really good run and hit class, guys that really like the contact aspect of the game. Then offensively, we feel good. Obviously, we only had 3 scholarship quarterbacks going into this year, which again is, the days of quarterbacks and not sticking around, even if they like your program, just because everybody's jockeying for that starting position. And, we only had 3 quarterbacks on scholarship this year, so we felt that we got to take 2 in this class. It's hard to get 2 in a class because once you get 1, then typically it's hard to get a second one. But we really like the fact that we added 2 kids that are winners. They've highly competitive. They've done tremendous things in their athletic careers. So the type of kids you think could stand in front of your team and lead your offense. We got 4 big offensive linemen, which again, you never can have enough big offensive linemen coming in, and we're excited. We're excited about that group. We got 1 tailback. We have plenty of tailbacks on scholarship, so we just took 1, but we really think he's an explosive player. And then we got 3 wideouts, and we really like the versatility of the wideouts because you got a 6'4" guy that can really go get the football and really cause defensive problems with length. You've got kind of your Jack Sorensen type, a kind of all-around guy, and then you've got a really, really high-end speed guy. So we really like this class, same as we always talk, me and Bake always talk about the character of the kids, the work ethic of the kids, the team captains, the winning programs, and all the things that we said day one we were going to do to turn this program around. And then once you get to the point where obviously you're having a high amount of success, you don't want to deviate from what has gotten here. And that happens sometimes where, you got to this level, then all of a sudden you're going to start to cheat compromise some things to try to get to another level. And our deal is just to continue to become a better version of who we are, because who we are is pretty good. And again, just as you win, you can attract better and better players. So we're at a position of strength in recruiting, and it's not we're going to win anymore, but we know we're going to win, and we know we're going to be highly competitive, and we know we're going to have a chance to fight for conference championships. So really excited with the group overall, and can't wait. Some of them are mid-semester kids, which will be here right around the corner.
Coach, one of the things I was looking at as I was looking through the biographies is some of these kids have a lot of versatility. They've played offense and defense and kind of excelled. Is that something that you look for when you're going out there?
Yeah, we always talk about jobs that the team needs to get done, and even within certain positions, there's different types of jobs very rarely do you get a kid at one position that can do every job, at a high level. There's a reason you sub out defense on 3rd down and you bring in more cover guys and maybe more pass rushers. There's obviously on offense times that you want better blockers or better receivers or better faster guys or bigger guys. So you're always looking for the jobs that your team to do. And then you add in all the ST jobs. So the versatility is always, a kid that you think can have that versatility, like you mentioned, and has the ability to do multiple jobs. That within his side of the ball that he's a wideout, but he also could be an H, or he's a safety, but he also could be, a nickel or a corner. He's a boundary safety, but he also could be a will backer. He's a kid that we think is athletic enough to play outside the end, but he's big enough to play inside. So we're always looking for that versatility, and always looking for guys that we also think can contribute on the special teams.
Coach, can you talk about the local kids that you got, the 2 kids from Winton Woods and then Jamar Mundy from LaSalle?
Yeah. And again, we've over the course of our regime here, it's been good locally. We've got a ton of local kids. And there's certain programs you're always trying to tap into, trying to get kids out of. So every time you kind of tap in a new program, it helps you, because if you have a kid that's having success from a good program, it certainly gives you an opportunity to get another good kid from a really successful program. And we've tapped into a lot of the programs in the greater Cincinnati, Dayton area. But then getting kids out of Winton Woods, we have a great relationship with Coach Parker at Winton Woods. We've been trying to get kids out of Winton Woods. He's been trying to help us get some kids. It's just, year in, year out. But so it's really nice not only to get some local kids. Obviously Tubbs is a cover corner. He's been a part of their great defenses. Obviously, Winton Woods has no shortage of talented athletes. They do a really good job there of coaching their kids. They're really competitive kids. They have that mentality that they'll go play anywhere, anytime, and they've had a hard time finding games. So we're really excited about Caleb. And then Dalen Long, obviously their linebacker, unfortunately missed most this year with a knee injury. He did get back to play in their last game, which was awesome. Younger brother of an NFL player, but Dalen's one of those run and hit guys I was referring to, that anybody's watched him play, he will hit anything that moves, and absolutely loves that part of the game. So getting a really good cover guy from a school that really plays good defense, and really getting a good linebacker from a school that really plays good defense, and they play it the right way. They are attack mode, aggressive, and really take the battle to the offenses, are great. And then obviously it's the first time we've gotten kids out of Winton Woods, so you kind of untap that opportunity, and then hopefully these guys have great experiences. Then it's natural that, hey, the kid a couple years down the road knows one of those two guys, and those kids help us recruit the next really good player from there. Then obviously the same thing with LaSalle, tremendous football program. These kids are really well coached. They know how to play football the right way when we get them. Jay Marr is a unique kid because he's a cover corner that can really cover, and has been tremendous in his career at LaSalle, but he's a very high contact player for a corner. He likes to mix it up, and you don't need all your corners to be high contact guys, but you need some of them to be high contact guys. So with Jamar's ability, he could play your nickel spot. He could do things on ST for sure with his run hit ability. So again, and these kids have played in big games against big time competition during the regular season. They play. It's a who's who of the best teams in the Midwest. So, and winning's important in those programs. So a lot of the things that you have to teach some kids that didn't come from as strong a program, these kids, it's already built in. Coach McLaughlin obviously does a great job. We have a great relationship. Coach McLaughlin, Coach Gus Ragland at Moeller. So we have an incredible tie with him and his program. And so getting kids that are local is important. Getting really talented athletes is obviously the most important. Then getting kids from great programs is really helps their transition into college.
Coach, is there a position or an area or I don't know, a player that you missed out on that you're kind of regretting?
No, definitely not. We covered our position needs. We're fine there. We had plenty of kids in this class. So when you have a bigger class, you usually have no issues covering position needs. Then, there's really no play. I mean, I want to get all the players that went to Ohio State, but I don't, there's no recruiting. You start with so many. You start with so many and you work through your list. We don't really ever have the mindset of we want, we've turned this thing around with kids that want to be at Miami and buy into Miami and buy into what we do. So when you lose out a kid, even if it's a good player and a good kid, you just kind of wish him well, and then you move on to the next one and you try to – hopefully the next one's better than the one that you just missed out on. You don't really know till you get him here. So our mindset is always just, hey, we think we have a great opportunity here, and if you think it's a great opportunity, let's go. If you think there's a better opportunity somewhere else, you shouldn't come here if this isn't the right fit for you, because you're going to have success with kids that really like being here.
Coach, this has been such a crazy year, and obviously next year is going to be a little crazy too, because you're going to have the potential, and I would imagine several guys get that extra year coming back, and you've got a large class coming in. How do you see managing? I mean, the obvious question is always, how do you see this freshman class contributing next year? Does that become a little harder to try and see how they contribute when you have some other guys that maybe wouldn't have been there had we not had this strange COVID year?
Yeah, it is. We never had this, so it is hard to prognosticate exactly opportunities. And there's a lot of that yet to be determined. Like the other piece is the NC's coming in with this transfer rule, in January that everybody says is going to pass. I don't know if it's going to pass, but that's what everybody is saying. So I think everybody's bracing between still COVID and now seniors, not just seniors, but everybody gets an additional year of eligibility. And then a transfer rule coming in, 2021 is going to be a free for all. So it's going to be very hard right now to sit and think like, I have no idea exactly what my roster is going to look like. You don't know what seniors are going to try to move on to the NFL or professionally versus what seniors might stick around. So it's going to be very fluid here for the next 4 or 5 months. It's going to be, it's going to be as crazy as it's ever been in the college football world as far as rosters go.
Everybody good?
Coach,
Coach?
I have one more question, and not necessarily related to recruiting, but Coach, Jack told me the other day, Jack Sorensen, that this year, even though you've only played 3 games, he is more physically and mentally exhausted after this year than he's ever been after any football season. How does that relate to you?
Yeah, I would say 2020's been mentally exhausting on all of us, and just the uncertainty. We all are scheduled people. We like to get our schedule and go with our schedule and get in a routine. Obviously, none of us have been in a routine in athletics. So I would agree with that. I'm more right now so excited about 21 and kind of unhappy about 20 with a little bit like we kind of got it stripped away from us. It kind of didn't get opportunities. We thought we were going to have a great team and a great schedule and all that. And it all got, besides 3 games, it all got taken away. We're not blaming anyone. It wasn't anybody's fault, but it is disappointing. So, to me, we're flushing 20 and we're getting ready to go 21, and we're going to be back with a vengeance in 21. So it is demoralizing. We're trying to get everyone out of that. Oh, this is woe is me. This let's go. Let's get ready for 21. So I'm with Jack totally. I think we've all been through the ringer mentally and physically because it just you don't know. There's so much uncertainty, and I want to get going on 2021 and get training and get ready and get to spring ball and have a great spring ball and have a great academics and do a bunch of good things in society and attack 21 and like we've never attacked.
He did credit the coaches with providing the right mindset and saying, just worry about things you can control.
Something might happen. And
I was done.
Good.
I think Coach froze up there for a second. Go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to say, Jack credited the coaches with providing the right mindset and saying that just worry about the things you can control and throw away the stuff you can't. So it sounds like you set a good pace there.
Yeah, and I think we all try to do that, but at some point, it is hard on those. Even though we did it, we didn't try to discount how hard it was on everybody involved. Mm-hmm. So but it's all you can do. But you still again, I just excited. Maybe these vaccines work and things get a little better. And I'm very hopeful. 2021, it maybe not normal, but we get closer to having where we can set a plan and stick with a plan, which we haven't done since March.
Mm-hmm. So when is spring practice scheduled to start?
Early March again. Early, usually in that first weekend to week and a half in March, it'll be the same schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, a quarter of the class almost is early enrollee. 5 players out of the 21 are early enrollees. And you and I talk about the quality of the individuals that you get coming to Miami. And I think that speaks highly of the high school programs that you're dealing with and also the kids themselves, that they can finish up and get an early start on their football career and their college career. Yeah.
And again, obviously, you're a more high-end student if you're graduating in 3+ years as opposed to taking the full 4. A lot of years I'm kind of torn. Like early graduation's awesome. Very selfishly, I love it. But I also understand kids play spring sports. Kids, I get the kid that wants to finish his high school career because that's your once-in-your-lifetime deal, especially if you're a winter sport or spring sport guy. Because you miss out some things that second semester senior in high school is pretty cool. This year with all the online stuff, I think more kids are regretting not trying to come out early because they kind of feel like they're not getting that same high school experience anyway. So why wouldn't they move on? So we have a couple more kids that are trying to, we've got 5 early enrollees. I think there's 2 more that are trying to work it out to become early enrollees for that reason. Like, don't even know if they're going to have a spring sport. Certainly online classes isn't exciting to them. So I think this is one year it makes more sense than ever if you could become an early enrollee, just with everything going on with obviously COVID, and high schools aren't close to being normal either. So might as well move on and start taking some college classes.
And like you said before, Coach, these kids obviously want to be at Miami.
Yeah, no, we still have so much to sell here. If you care about life after football, this is obviously a tremendous choice. The kids in our program, the coaches, the character, the work ethic, again, not better than anyone else's, but we would put it up against anyone else's. Obviously, our success, we're the winningest program in the league for the last 5 years. We're 26-9, as I always say, in the last 35 MAC games, coming off the heels of 4-26 in MAC. And, I always say we're 24-4 when our starting quarterback has started and finished a game, which is a pretty damn good record. Our last 28 MAC games that our starting quarterbacks played and finished. So this year is actually the year that when our starting quarterback didn't start and finish, we still had a heck of a chance to win because our backup is really, really good. It's kind of 1 and 1A, but most of the MAC games we've lost over the last 5 years, was when our, 4 games when Gus Ragland didn't play, we were 1-3. 1 game when Brett Gabbert didn't finish, we were 0-1, and obviously we were 1-1 this year when Brett didn't start and finish. So we have been very, very good in our league. So again, when you tell parents and kids that you want to win and win championships, and then you can get a great education, our facilities are second to none, our campus is second to none. It's a pretty good place to be again.